Here we go. What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 29 of Unfiltered. I'm your host, ChanManV, and today we've got lots and lots to talk about, as always. Got some Home Story Cup. Just finished this past weekend, so it'd be cool to talk a little bit about that. Sons of StarCraft went live right after our show, or during our show last Friday, or just a few days.
Sorry.
Oh man, that's a preview of our discussion, I think. Hitbox.tv, some interesting facts were found out about Hitbox.tv that we'll be talking about. And then DDoSing, what the hell? DDoSing is happening all over the place again, and we are the home of the DDoS guide, or how to prevent DDoS. So we'll have Steven talk a little bit about that. And then lastly, we'll be doing some viewer Q&A as always. You guys can post your questions in the Reddit thread, same as we do each and every week. We'll try to get to as many as possible. I think we'll have a lot of time this week to go through a lot of them. So all you people with the dust questions, get ready. You'll be.
Oh shit! I have to be gone by 6 o'clock.
Oh shit!
I'm being serious. So that's 5 your time.
Yeah.
Wait,
Are you sure you have the times right? Oh my god!
It's
Dude.
Are you trolling?
Jeez.
Are you
No,
trolling? Why?
I have to be gone by 7 sharp. Okay.
Oh,
Is it the
God,
dust
whatever.
question?
He's full of shit.
Because it's 2 hours. Fuck you.
But anyways, want to welcome our co-host each and every week, Mr. Destiny. What's going on, Steven?
What's up, buddy?
And then our guest again. Figured why not have Des? Friday was just a substitute. So
Well, I guess you kind of owe me after I saved you, right?
That's right. And we got to get an update on the whole Alice thing too. So.
Oh, yeah.
Mark, I don't know what's going on behind you, man. You got like this. Look at that camera behind you. What is that, dude? That camera looks super expensive.
Yeah, they dream about it. The guy from Sons of StarCraft, he's dreaming about that camera.
Oh,
Let me tell you.
Oh,
So
man.
we've got like a another light spot outside, and then there's like two guys doing a video. We had like a 2-hour interview in the afternoon. It was quite fun.
So
But
what
yeah,
is this?
for-
Is this like a documentary? Is this like some
It's a documentary. Fuck you about the word, by the way. It's gonna air in like 2014 or like the end of 2014. It's about video games. So like me, Miss Harvey, and there's gonna be another guy, and it's mostly that it follows me and her, and they're gonna come to China with me this weekend.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then they might go to Korea after. Well, they're gonna go to Korea after, and yeah, it's gonna be cool. I don't know how it's gonna end up like online and how you're gonna be able to watch it, but they'll be trying very hard to make that happen.
So the big question is, was it a Kickstarter?
It wasn't a Kickstarter. He's actually a little bit sad that the documentaries are doing so bad because he knows that he's gonna do an awesome documentary, and he's also done other documentaries before. And his dad was making documentaries before him, so it's not like one fucking guy was doing like, I don't know, like working at McDonald's, and then he wanted to start making documentaries and started a Kickstarter.
Okay.
He's legit. He knows his shit. You
All
know?
right. That's cool, man.
It's
I'll
unfiltered, man.
look forward to
So
seeing it.
you said, are they both your lifelong friend or just one of them?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know the guy. Actually.
Oh, man. All right. Well, why don't we kick things off with Home Story Cup, which
Yes.
just ended on Sunday. I feel like we were just on the show. Like, I guess it's been, 3 days since we've done...
Yeah, but Home Story
Unfiltered?
Cup is freaking 4 days, man. It's a marathon.
I know, it's actually longer than the
Yeah.
duration between our shows here. But yeah, so Home Story Cup ended. For those of you who didn't watch it, spoilers, I'll give you 5 seconds to turn it off. Tasia won. Tasia won in actually kind of unvery ceremonious fashion. When he won, he just barely even reacted after he
Yeah,
won.
but poor guy, he keeps winning only 10K. Like that's.
I know, that sucks, man. It just
Yeah.
sucks.
But did you read his interview on Team Liquid? He wants to pull Stefano, makes as much money, and then bail out. You think it's the
Oh, I didn't
best
see
course
that.
of action as a pro gamer?
Really?
How
I
did
didn't see
Stefano
that.
do in Home Story Cup? Where did he finish it?
He won his
he,
group. I think he won
he
his.
finished. Yeah, he finished second in his group. No. He lost to Todd.
Oh, I
He
thought
lost
he won
to
his
Todd.
group.
Yeah. So you
It
didn't.
was close. He
you
lost 2-1, I think, to Todd. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy that he was playing. He was playing so well, like not even. I mean, I don't think he was even practicing or anything. So
Yeah.
pretty amazing. But overall, good event from Take. This is, I have to admit, this Home Story Cup was probably. I probably watched probably the least out of all the Home Story Cups because there was just so many days and a lot of stuff going on. But
Yeah.
The one thing I did notice was that the commentary was quite entertaining. Like I feel like In Control was at his A game the entire time. I every time I tuned in and he was casting, I felt like I got like a lot of chuckles. So Jeff did a really good job this weekend. Any highlights from you, Des?
No, In Control was amazing. Like, In Control was made for this type of commentary. And even though Too Good rustled a little bit of feathers, I really missed the. You remember was it the Aces something? It was they did like
The Aces Rock? You mean like the?
yeah. It was Aces Rock with In Control and Too Good and Apollo. Remember, like all those highlights on YouTube. Like
I remember the one pick that was like looped over and over and over again.
It reminded me of that. It was such a great casting by them, so I was really happy to see them united again.
Steven, what'd you think of Too Good's casting or commentary?
I didn't watch very much of the Homestuck Cup. I've been moving and been sick and all that bullshit.
Yeah, but
so.
you're lying. You watched the highlight of it, so you can.
This
answer.
coming from the guy.
Well, yeah, I know,
like,
but I haven't. I just compared to my recent tourney watching, I didn't get a chance to watch much Homestuck Cup.
Okay, so what did you think of the whole Too Good thing?
Oh, that's.
You're the person. Okay, so all right, Unfiltered fact. Steven messaged me, we got a lot of good stuff to talk about this week. And then one of the things is like the Too Good. So I'm like segmenting to this for him. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, well, I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
All right, he's getting ready.
Okay, so this is... I gave this breakdown on my stream, so a lot of people here have already heard this before, okay? But when you get into humor is a lot like like flirting with somebody, right? Like talking to a girl at a bar. You when you approach somebody, you don't know how much they like you, right? So you're constantly trying to figure out how much they like you by asking certain questions. Like you see, like, do they keep eye contact with you? Are they enthusiastic about talking with you? Do they want to trade cell phone numbers? Do they want to go back to your place for a drink? Stuff like that. Right. Like, you constantly have to test the waters. You would never go into a bar and walk up to a girl and be like, hey, what's up? I really want you to come back to my place so we can fuck like crazy tonight. Like, you would never just go up to somebody and say that, right? Because you'd be, like, way overshooting that line. You wouldn't have... You'd have nothing leading up to that, Like, it would be really strange, right?
Okay, sure.
So when it comes to humor, especially the edgier and more offensive of the humors, it works the same way. Where when you meet somebody, you don't really know like what their tolerance is for kind of crazy humor. If I meet somebody on the street, like I would never go up to a random black person and be like, "What's up, my nigga?" Like, I would never go up and do that because it would be the dumbest fucking thing in the world. There's a good chance, depending on where I'm at, I would just get knocked the fuck out, right? Maybe depending on where I'm at. But to somebody like Debo, I might, because, it's fucking Debo, because I know him, I know his tolerance for shit like that. Or to a couple of friends I had in high school, like, we know each other, I know the talents for that,
Yeah.
With edgy humor, it's always like that. You've got to figure out, like, where do you draw that line? And everybody is different, right? That's the biggest, most difficult thing about kind of trying to do the comedy thing, is everybody has a different boundary on where they're comfortable to go with it. You've got to identify that, because anytime you overstep it, you become that guy at the table who's making the jokes that's making everybody uncomfortable, but he doesn't realize it, So bringing all of that up, I bring this all up. I know that Too Good was drunk, and I know that he knows way more than me when it comes to shit like this, because he does similar stuff to me. Well, I should say I do similar stuff to him, and he's been doing it way longer than I have, right? And he's got more experience. That being said, his joking was a little bit uncomfortable because we have no idea. Well, there's no precedent for Scarlett ever joking about her transsexuality or the decisions she's made in regards to that. She's opened up a little bit to the community about it, but never so much so that she's ready to joke about it and kind of make light of it. So to see Too Good do that in a public forum where we have no idea how Scarlett is going to take it is really, really, really strange. And I know that some people were saying later that Scarlett said she was uncomfortable with it, but really that's irrelevant. Even if Scarlett would have posted later, like, oh, it was really cool, I laughed about it, even that, like, it's still really awkward to see because we've never seen them interact with each other, you know? Like if Scarlett and Too Good would have been casting together for a long time and like Scarlett would have maybe brought it up or made like if Scarlett would have made jokes about like race switching, you know, like whatever
Hmm.
stuff, whatever you can incorporate that kind of humor, and then Too Good and her were to kind of go back and forth on it, and then Too Good would have dropped that line later on in the night, then everybody kind of could have laughed. There still would have been some people getting pissed off at it, like, oh, you can't do it. But for the most part, I think people would have been like, oh yeah, whatever, like it's cool, we know that they're cool. But for Too Good to kind of drop that joke out of nowhere, it was a little bit awkward because we have no idea how receptive Scarlett is to that kind of humor, and it's just really, you know, like I've talked to
Well, let's.
Scarlett a little on Skype. Like I wouldn't say I'm friends with her, not because I don't like her, but just because we haven't talked that much. But I haven't talked to her enough to where I would ever be comfortable in a situation with Scarlett, just dropping a joke about her, something that's very personal to her like that. I would never do that because I have no idea, you know? Like that would have to be something over the course of a long period of time that you would kind of work up to figure out like what are you comfortable with, what are you not comfortable with, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this has ever been. I don't think anybody has ever talked about this in a very joking fashion because, it's a it's a pretty serious thing and touchy subject for, all these
You
people.
can't
I mean, it's
you
a very
can
sensitive
talk
subject.
You
It's
can talk about it in a joke fashion. I've got a friend, I don't even fucking know this guy. And if you're a fan of my stream, you might remember the Andy guy, right, guys? I think his name was like Melanguna. I can't even pronounce his fucking name. But I think he was a pre or post-op transsexual. I don't even know. That dude was fucking crazy. But he made jokes about it all the fucking time. Like he constantly joked to people about it and linked like really fucked up shit about it. I say fucked up from my heteronormative point of view, whatever. But like just like really crazy shit. So like with somebody like that, like I would have no problem at all joking around with it or whatever because I know he's comfortable with it, you know? It's not like I said, it's not so much the topic material at hand, although understandably there are a lot of social justice warriors and whatever fucking people on both sides of the fence that want to, get all up in arms with it. It's just the idea that we didn't see Too Good and Scarlett joking about it comfortably beforehand. Like if we would have seen it beforehand, I think the reception to that joke would have been way more lighthearted, you know?
Yeah, it was definitely interesting, and the I think the community reaction to it was, a little bit. I think people were surprised about some of the reaction too, because of course, a lot of people were defending Scarlett, but then a lot of people were actually, defending Too Good too, or just saying that that's just kind of how he is and that sort of thing. But in reality, Scarlett wasn't very very thrilled about it, and
Sure.
I think you're right on. I think you're right on with all those things that you just said there, and I don't know, I can't see. I don't know. It'd be a while before I actually can imagine Scarlett actually breaking out jokes about that.
Sure, it depends, but I mean, a lot of it, like, it's a really complicated issue too. Like, I don't think this is something where there's a really easy right or wrong answer. But like I said, I just think that everything could have been alleviated a little bit more if we would have seen Too Good and Scarlett joking around about it prior to that, rather than it just being like a cold opener to like no one knows like how anybody feels about it. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Des, you haven't even said a thing about this. What the hell,
I
man?
I was I'm friends with Scarlett or acquaintance or I guess in between acquaintance and friend. Um, I don't know how I feel. Like I feel like I don't know. I wish she wasn't offended because I thought Too Good was funny, but am I wrong for thinking it was funny? So I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, truth be told, it was a funny joke. It was definitely a funny joke. I think on objective counts, you can point to it being a pretty funny joke. But as for like, should she or should she haven't have been offended? That's like a really complicated question, and you have to keep in mind that nothing exists in a vacuum, you know. So for like to make that kind of a joke, like, was it funny? I thought it was pretty funny. Like I laughed. I thought it was a funny joke, but in regards to should she be offended by it or not, like if she's grown up and she's wrestled with these issues, it kind of sucks talking about this because I know this is personal to her and all that, so this might be uncomfortable. I don't know who's listening or not. But for her to grow up dealing with stuff that we have no idea of, and then for people to make light of that could be seen as a little bit insensitive, you know? Like if she's been beat up or made fun of or ostracized from communities or had issues with her family's church, any other school communities, and they have all made similar jokes about her choice to in regards to whatever she identifies her sexuality as, it's really not fair for us to go like, hey, you can't be offended by that or whatever, because we really
Yeah.
don't know. like what kind of history exists there, you know?
Well, I mean, just look at what we do know, which is this community, just the community's reaction to, ever since she made the statement, when she first came on the scenes, So even just from that, I mean, I think we can tell that it's a sensitive subject. So,
Sure.
We'll see. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully things will change and it'll become just more normal. And I mean, I think the community's been good about accepting all this and not being too hateful. I don't know. I mean, I of course you see some comments about it that just insensitive comments, but I think for the most part, the community has been really good about it. So
yeah, but okay. So let's talk about the future though. If we break the taboo, then maybe the fucking threads and the chat rooms will stop being about her being a transgender every time she plays or is being talked about. Don't you think so, or it wouldn't change anything?
I mean, it's definitely possible. Like the other side of the argument would be that humor is one of the greatest forms of acceptance to some people. And I know there are a lot of social justice warriors that cringe when I say that, but I mean, it's a fact that like a lot of men. I remember that when women started to become more integrated into the workplace, one of the issues, because we went over all this training for management when I worked at the casino. One of the biggest issues with women in the workplace was there was a lot more sexual harassment when women started to become integrated more, and some of that wasn't necessarily but because the men saw the women as objects to be treated as blah 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 blah, but more because as men started to see women as equals more, they started to treat them more as they did other men, which if you've ever worked with other men in the workplace can be really fucking crass, for a better word, for lack of a better word sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could argue that Too Good will literally make fun of anybody, anything, anyone, anytime. Like Too Good does that. So for him to make fun of an issue like Scarlett's transgendered struggles could be seen in a roundabout way as kind of being accepting. But again, like I said, it's a really complicated issue. There are legitimate arguments on both sides. I guess it just depends. Like I said, the guidelines that I had were just the non-asshole route. If you didn't want to be an asshole, just like kind of make sure that people know that Scarlett's cool with that humor beforehand. But then again, it's also Too Good. I don't know if he gives a fuck at all about that or not. So
I think he was too drunk to realize he went a little too far. But
yeah,
then
possibly.
again, he woke up the next morning and tweeted, "I'm glad I didn't go too far. Good job, drunk James." So,
Yeah.
fucking Too Good.
All right. Well, that's enough, I guess, of that talk. But just kind of ending the Home Story Cup segment. Overall, I think Tig did a good job, and hopefully he continues to do some more. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of him doing multiple home stories every year? Do you think it's too much? Do you think one is good? I can tell you my opinion. I kind of liked it when it was like once a year or almost once a year, because just had that really special feel about it versus just being more like MLGs and that sort of thing. What do you guys think?
I don't know. Seems fine. Whatever.
I don't know. It's like the viewership wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But people need to subscribe more and support it though. It's really
definitely.
good for the scene.
Yeah.
I did subscribe, and it always sucks. Like whenever they're doing like a promo segment, people like keep typing fucking #sellout. Well, if these little fuckers would subscribe instead of whining about them selling out, maybe they wouldn't have to do so many promotional segments.
Well, if you guys haven't watched my episode I did with Take on climbing the ladder, you guys should, because it was after I think the previous home story. Take came on climbing the ladder and just basically told us just everything, just the expenses and everything, and that tournament is not cheap to run.
How much does he lose?
I think when he was on the show, I think he said that it costs about $70,000 to run that tournament.
Damn.
Yeah, and he doesn't make it back. He doesn't even make it close to back, guys. So, XMG all over the place. You betcha, because he needs to make some of that back, and that's the only way. Ad revenue, he's not going to get jack from ad revenue, just because how ad revenue is. So he loses a lot of money on that. He does it because it's like a flagship product, kind of for him, and it helps his other projects along the way. But that event itself does not make him money. So whatever you can do to help with that, please do, because it's one of the great things in this community right now is Home Story Cup. Yeah, the viewership was down. Just looking at chat real quick, it was a little bit lower than normal.
Well,
but
it was like 40K, which I don't know. Like DreamHack can get more. So.
40K is not.
But then
not
yeah.
terrible. 40 years not that bad actually for home story. The times I saw it, it was like in like 30 or so.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. My bad. I take it back.
The way to go, Dust. Fuck.
All right, let's move on. Next subject is the documentary everybody's been talking about that got released on Friday. We just didn't. None of us got a chance to actually take a look at it.
Only part one.
Yeah, only part one. Only part
Yeah,
one
but
of it. It's being released in episodic format, and
This guy in my chat saying that 1,500 hits a day through Google AdSense is equal to $300+ a day is a fucking idiot. Stop typing here. You're absolutely fucking retarded, dude.
yeah, that's not even.
I'm banning
close.
you. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
That's not even close. But yeah, so Sons of StarCraft came out finally. You know, this was a lot of talk on Land of Broken Promises about this documentary, and Jeff finally got this out, and the reactions were from it have been mixed. I mean, if not mixed, it's been somewhat negative. Just people have we're expecting more, I guess you could say. What do you guys think? What do you think, desRow? I'll get your opinion first.
I don't like. Okay, so it's either really shitty or just shitty. Like, if the first 20 minutes was this fucking bad, was it a really poor decision to chop it up, or was it okay? Like, I don't know. It's like you can't tell if it's gonna be worse or if it's gonna be slightly worse. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Well, okay, Steven, what'd you think? I'm gonna actually poll. I'm gonna poll the viewers too. I'm gonna see what they think. Here, guys, what do you think? Tell me if you liked Sons of StarCraft. What did you think of the first episode, Steven?
I don't know, dude. It was pretty.
Oh.
It was pretty meh.
That's it.
He's so.
It's about what I would expect, like a fan-made thing for like a guy posts. He's like, "Hey, I made a documentary. Like, I just finally figured out how to use Sony Vegas today, and I have some freely licensed music, and I'm gonna make a documentary about Artosis and Tasteless. So here's a bunch of interviews I found, and then I put the music in the background. Let me know what you guys think. You know?"
Okay. Yeah. I mean, definitely the music was just. I think it was the same music the entire time.
I'm sorry if I
it's
sound like a
just
dick. It seems to me like this is like my conspiracy hat talking. I'm sorry, ignore this if you're reasonable. But it kind of seems like they this whole shit kind of started to blow up, and they realized like, oh fuck, we got a deadline, but we don't have shit done, so let's just release what we have now and call it episode 1. Did anybody else get that vibe, or am I completely?
No, they have a lot. I mean, they have a bunch of episodes that they've already cut. Yeah, there's not just one episode right now. Come on.
No. You really think, like, ready to actually air? I kind of feel like they just, like, threw this together from what they had, and now they're, like, scrambling to get... You think everything is done right now?
I don't know if everything is done, but I bet at least half to over half of the episodes are
If
done.
everything was done, or if they had more to show, why would they leave it on the weakest note to start it off? Does that make sense?
Well, they
like,
have to
if you
start somewhere. I mean, right? They have to...
Yeah, but if you had more done...
Yeah, but
if you were trying to flirt with the girl and she wanted to see your penis and you only wanted to show her the top 1 inch of it, and you said, like, trust me, I've got way more, but I don't want to show you any... I don't want to show you any more than the top 1 inch. I promise there's more. Like, what would you think as the girl?
Yeah, but
like,
the penis has got to start somewhere. I mean, okay, I agree that...
Would you think this guy has a 2-inch dick, or he's really got an 11-inch monster, and right now he's only showing me the top inch of it because... Like, what would be the motivation? Like, what if she loses interest and just goes find another guy? You know? Like, I don't know, like a...
What is this, a YouTube video or something? I mean, it's like, see, the reaction to it, I agree with a lot of it, but, I think the future episodes, honestly, are going to get better. I mean, you have to start at some place, and even some of the other documentaries started a little slow. You know what I mean?
I think it'll get better, because now that they've seen the reaction to the first one, when they go to make the second episode, they'll...
Okay. But yeah, so I'm just looking at the results right here. So we got about 75 to 80% of the folks, I guess, didn't enjoy it. I mean,
please don't compare the Super Smash Brothers documentary to this one. The Super Smash Brothers documentary was episodic, but it was meant to be episodic from the start, and it made sense. You didn't see episode 1 of the Super Smash Brothers documentary and think, wow, this is fucking terrible. I hope the next episodes are better. That's way different than what we're looking at here. Come on, guys.
Well, the expectations for the Super Smash Brothers ones wasn't nearly as high is this one too. So I don't think it was probably impossible to live up to expectations, honestly, for this.
No.
Yeah,
But
but I mean,
you don't
like
think so?
Fucking
it's tasteosis. Like the expectations are we just wanted to see good
no,
tasteosis
but
content.
dude, if you've watched State of Play, put
Yeah,
that in 20 minutes
yeah.
episode.
State of Play
There's
was better.
there's a narrative. At least I have something to follow.
Yeah.
Like I felt like the first 20 minutes was a circle jerk about tastosis. It was like a bunch of chopped up interviews. Didn't make sense. You could have like literally you could take all the interviews, shuffle them around, and it's still the same product. There's no sense of progression. Like the last 5 minute part, they were like, well, I guess we better do something interesting. We'll talk about for 5 minutes about how he started casting, and
You
then
know what the
that's it.
problem? I think that this documentary was actually going to be really good, but then you get these assholes like Richard Lewis in the community who pressure them to release the product before it's done, and now we get this rushed piece of shit because people like Richard Lewis wouldn't just leave things alone and let them finish it on their own time.
The
I
pot
think
call-
that
call
I
it
think that the
kettle black
negative
here, man.
I think the
Okay.
negative reaction from the community spurring them on to release an unfinished product is the reason why the Sons of StarCraft isn't. I could work PR for them, right? That'd be pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man, oh man. I wonder if Justin, the guy who's doing Star Nation, actually feels good or bad because of any pressure from Star Nation. Because if Sons of StarCraft is getting received that way, I mean, Star Nation. I mean, could it be any worse? I mean, I don't know. But I know
Well,
Star
started
Nation
out-
is I know Star Nation is he's trying to go for the whole film festival stuff, not so much this.
Yeah,
whole
but they also
episodic
started
thing.
out with like it's a lot like when you write a piece of music. When you do composition for music, right? When you're writing a big piece, multi-instrument or whatever, typically what you start out with is you start out with a concept, right? Like what kind of a musical piece do I want? I don't know. Like you just get some kind of a concept in your head, right? Once you have the concept, you start to get a bunch of ideas going that match that concept. And then when it comes down to the actual writing part, you organize those ideas in such a way that the music makes sense and it expresses that concept that you had from the start consistently from start to finish. That's how, when you talk about music composition, that's how pieces go. I'd imagine the documentaries are relatively similar. You don't just collect a bunch of footage and then throw it together. You start off with some kind of a concept, in this case, it's whatever you want the primary narrative to be. And then you get a bunch of material and you kind of organize it in a way that it tells a story that you want to tell throughout your documentary. And from the little bit that I've talked to of the Star Nation guys, it seems like they already have that. Like, they know what the stories they want to tell are. They have the people that they want to follow, and those are the stories that they're working to cut together and tell in their documentary. I feel good about the direction that the Star Nation people are headed.
I mean, some of it does have to do with just the talent of the person making it, right? Producer, director, or whoever you want to call it. And when it comes down to it, I've talked to other people too. Maybe Jeff just wasn't as talented as people thought. I don't know. It's
Did anybody think he was talented? I thought he was just a lifelong friend of.
I don't know. I figure he had some aspirations for filmmaking or that sort of thing. He wasn't just some random guy who's just like shooting high
It's
definition
not about
video.
new rule. Okay, new rule for Unfiltered. We're not allowed to use the word talent here anymore. Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Why?
talent, because work is what gets you anywhere. Talent doesn't mean fucking jack shit for anything. Nobody in the real world gives a fuck how much talent you have for anything ever, and they never, ever, ever will, right? So it doesn't matter if he's talented or whatever fucking bullshit, because that doesn't mean anything. Has he actually done, like, decent work in the past? Has he put in the work to get the education or to get the life skills necessary to put together a documentary like this? Like, those are the important questions to ask. Fuck, I don't give a fuck if he's talented or not. Has he ever done anything like this before? Or do we know that he has a qualification for it? Like, those are more...
He went to Africa. He got like little episodes, but no one looked into it when he started gathering the money, because Tastosis was like, "Guys, there's gonna be a documentary about us, yay!" And then everyone was like, "Yay!" But no one asked questions. Where were you then, Steven? Where were Richard Lewis?
I didn't give a fuck because I didn't give any money to it. I'm sorry, I'm not a journalist, bro.
Alright.
I call people racial slurs on my stream and then I misogyny against women all day and I make money. That's how I cut my check, man. I'm not a journalist, fuck you. And I'm not a community watchdog. I did my work in trying to save StarCraft and then everybody told me to leave, so I fucked off to LOL, okay, bro? That's what I did.
Not everyone, just Idro and In Control.
Oh,
And DJ Wheat. Come on, man.
And look where you are now, man.
I can only give so much. My DDoS guides, my
Oh, we're getting to
my
DDoS.
suggestions,
Wait.
my
Wait.
suggestions to Blizzard. Okay, I can only give so much from my heart, desRow, without asking anything in return.
Yeah, I know. You went full circle.
All right. So favorite part of episode 1, if you had to pick one.
I like the part. I like the music.
I like the music. Okay, desRow.
Well, I guess like the footage that was taken by a guy 5 years ago that's been on YouTube for 3 years now. That part was my favorite part.
What?
But
I liked when some of the interviews were cut in. You could tell that it was like somebody would be talking, then all of a sudden, like the next part of the footage would be zzz, like like they would you could tell they were clipping together different footage together from different audio.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Holy
man.
shit. Hey, can we talk real fast? I'm sorry if I sound like an unqualified asshole here, because to some extent I am. But the excuse that it's hard work is not a good excuse for anything. I don't know why people seem to think that. When you talk about things like doing a proper interview or whatever, blah blah blah, and then people start to point out like, hey, like this doesn't sound good, or hey, there's a lot of static here. A bunch of people run up to the threads and they're like, you've never done audio engineering in your life. It's really hard to get that kind of shit together, like it's really hard not to have like the blurry, like you can't always control for that. Like you can't, like what the fuck? Like it's your fucking job, you stupid fucking idiot. No shit, it's fucking hard. If it was easy, then everybody would be doing it, Like that would be like getting into a car accident. Like it's really hard to drive when you're like to drive a car. Like it fucking like that's what you get your license for. Like obviously audio work is hard, but if you're trained in it and it's your job to do it, like it's your job to fucking do it. You don't get to use the excuse that it's hard at the end of the day. I don't know why people are of the mindset that even though getting a good interview with good audio quality is hard, the fact that it's hard becomes like an excuse for having a shitty quality fucking end product. You know what I mean?
All right. Let's kind of preface it with the fact that if $40,000 weren't given to somebody to make this thing, then we would be much more,
Even a
let's
little
more
bit,
lenient
like,
about it.
like,
I mean, come on. I mean, it's like, come on.
I can throw a fucking audio excerpt into Audacity. I can cut out the static, and I can take that audio track and save it over a fucking FLV file in fucking Vegas or whatever to get audio for an interview that isn't staticky. Like, tell me, like, what's hard about that? Am I wrong in that?
Well,
I mean, I can't tell you, but I would think it's a little bit more than that. I mean, maybe I don't know how much more than that, but I would think it's more than that.
I take a video, it's got static in it, I strip the audio, I throw the audio into Audacity, you use Audacity to get rid of the static, and then you overlay the audio back onto the video track with fucking Vegas or whatever. What step am I missing there to get rid of the static? Tell me, like, why that doesn't work. Like, I've done it for videos in the past, and the little fucking bullshit that I know you can do it. Like, it's not the excuse of, like, the source was bad. Like, fucking do something. I don't even know shit about this stuff. Like, this isn't my job. Like, I just bullshit whatever together by asking people in chat for help or whatever. Like, fuck, man. I clean up this, man. What do you want me to say? I don't know, dude. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be humble, but no. The answer is it's not that hard to get rid of static out of an interview. It's not hard. It might be harder when you talk about complicated movements of music where there's a lot of different instruments and you're trying to cut specific frequencies out. Then it can be kind of fucked up. But audio for an interview is typically very easy to work with. You're talking about a very narrow spectrum of sound that you want, very narrow range of frequency. The sound quality doesn't have to be superb. You don't need fucking like top of the line. You just need to get rid of static. It's not that hard. Audio from an interview is typically the easiest audio to work with in any part of the, like in anything you'll ever do in audio ever. Spoken word is very easy to work with. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, what do we think about them trying to milk it more by
Milk it more? What do you mean?
well, by streaming it and putting it on gamers and doing it an episodic episode thing?
They have to distribute it. What are you talking about? They have to release it in some form.
Yeah, but why not do it all at once though? It did, like
Because then it would take like
obviously-
another few months.
No, but you're
Because the
obviously
rest of it isn't done yet.
yeah, but
I'm
you're
sorry.
obviously making more money if you do it by episodes than if you do it all at once. Don't you think?
Yeah, no, that's true. It's like when I post a blog on my website and I split it up into pages. It's because I want those additional ad views, man.
Well, it wasn't
Like
wasn't
my
on.
Journey to the Mind of XJ9, 14 views. That's 14 times as many views,
That's
motherfucker.
true.
Give me that
We know
ad.
that little trick, right?
Mathematics, man.
but wasn't the Kickstarter part of the Kickstarter was all the donors would get a full copy of it? I believe. Is that true? Viewers, is that true?
You can go check it out yourself,
I
man.
think so. I don't have the links right now, so. But so if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, they should have like a full copy for at least everybody. But the problem with doing that, guys, and then you're like releasing it episodic to just the general public is, the full thing is going to be released or leaked somewhere, right? And then
Only
kind
if
of
you
blows the whole thing.
donated $20, you get the full movie download. If you donated $5 or $1, you can go jerk yourself off with their love. But only $20 or above, you get the full copy download.
Okay. Well, maybe they'll get something special in the mail soon. And Steven's absolutely wrong that they're still making episode 2. I don't think they're making episode 2. I think they already have like at least half the episodes done. I don't know about the rest of it, but I don't think they're done with it. I think you're right in the
That's
fact
better.
that they're still doing it. I don't know. It means that at least they have a
So wait, no,
complete-
but guys,
all the
let's
video
talk
done.
about the future episodes. If there's no narratives, where do we go from here?
There's
Like,
gonna
what's
be
the story?
What do you mean no narratives? I mean, it's
There
It's
but
like
there
that. It's
wasn't.
like that. No. It's like that movie, Memories or whatever. By the time we get to the end, everything will make sense. Did you ever see that movie?
How? They're like,
You don't know yet.
they're-
We've only seen episode 1. Once you get to the end, everything will make sense. You'll go, or
man.
Memento.
Oh,
sorry.
oh, you're talking about Memento. Oh, where
Memento,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Where the ordering of the movie is all crazy, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but I do have a point though. If this episode is so fucked up, how are the other ones gonna like end up doing?
Well,
I
they can't do worse, right? I mean, I think
Yeah.
the community pretty much reacted. But I mean, I remember clips from just some of the preview clips that did come out like a while back, and some of the footage of Dan and his his baby and stuff. That
Yeah.
that has potential. It definitely
Oh,
has
yeah, yeah.
potential.
Okay.
So
I take it back.
maybe some of those things might be cool, but yeah, this first episode it was hard to tell what the starting point is for this whole thing.
You think they're gonna modify episode 2 based on feedback? They're gonna be like, "Oh shit, guys, we're gonna get toasted."
I think the
That's
sound
scrambled.
will be. I think extra attention will be given to the sound for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know about the videos. I mean, I feel like again the videos have probably been cut already. Just at least the video footage of it. So
I don't know. I like to believe Destiny's theory. That would be sick. That would be like the sickest esports scam. Like once a week, you have to scramble to get 20 minutes done. Otherwise, you're dead.
it's not a scam unless they're not giving us episodes, guys. All
Yeah,
right?
I know.
All right. So let's let's move on to the next segment. Next segment is another hard hitter. Hitbox.tv.
I keep trying not to tie in the Sons of StarCraft stuff to the Anita Sarkeesian chick
Oh,
who collected
come on.
like $750 trillion to make like her videos. But I'm sorry, I didn't. But I mean, I guess I just kind of did. I'm sorry. Okay, keep going. My bad.
All right, Hitbox.tv.
Oh god.
I think it was found out that the CFO from Own 3D is now
Yeah.
But guys, we
basically-
need competition.
running
Hold
the
on.
Hitbox.
I want to do really important life lesson right now. Okay, can we do that?
All right.
Okay.
Alright.
Here we
Let's
go.
say I am an American. Well, I guess worldwide, I'm an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, right? I want
Entrepreneur.
to
Easy
start a
there, boy.
business. Okay. I really want to start a business. Okay. And I have a cool idea for a business, and I think I can make it work. Okay. Let's say that I go to the bank and I get all the money necessary loaned for this business, and I go and I start my business, and it's fucking awesome, and I'm doing okay, but then I run into some roadblocks, and I get fucked, and my business goes under, and now I'm completely fucked, because when you talk about businesses, the scale is way larger, right? So all that money that I owe, like the bank is going to come and take my house, they're going to take my car, I'm going to have to file bankruptcy, I'm completely fucked. Like, my one business failing me just completely destroyed my entire life, you know? When you have that kind of a mindset, it gets to the point to where most people wouldn't want to ever try to open a business. Does that make sense? Because the liability there would be absolutely fucking insane. Like, if I go to open a business and it fails, like, I'm completely fucked, you know? Like, you'll lose all your money if it goes under. And most businesses fail, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
It's
Okay.
risky. Yeah, sure.
So,
It's risky
yeah,
to start a
very-
business. There you go.
So, one of these amazing things, and I'm not being sarcastic when I say this, one of the amazing things that we've done to make it so that that doesn't happen is we have these things called LLCs, like limited liability corporations, or S corps, or all these different businesses. Where what we can do is we can shift the liability from ourselves personally over to another entity, another legal entity. Instead of me, Stephen Bonnell, taking out loans for a business or trying to get a business working, I can do it as the CEO or the manager of a separate legal entity, another person, if you will, called a business, you know?
Yep.
So now, if this business fucks up and fails, then fuck it. Worst case scenario, we liquidate all the assets of the business, and the business ceases to exist. It dies in a sense, in a tax sense, right? It's dead. And then but then everybody's able to walk away from that at the end of the day without having destroyed their lives. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yep.
So the cool thing about being able to form a business is even if it fucks up and it fails, you can walk away from it at the end of the day because all of the liability was taken out in the name of that corporation, and you don't have to go to sleep every night knowing that everything about that business is going to be personally, traced back to you on the line. The reason why I bring that up is because a lot of people keep pointing to the CFO or the CEO of Hitbox or whatever, and they're going like, well, why doesn't everybody sue him for what happened to Own and blah, 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 and why can't blah, blah, blah. Well, that guy, he doesn't owe anyone a dime for anything. He doesn't owe me the 10 to 30,000 or whatever, however much money I'm missing from Own. He doesn't owe CLG anything. He doesn't owe anybody anything. All of that money that's owed to those players are owed from the business owned. And the business owned is no longer in existence. That business is gone. It's destroyed. There's a word for it, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what the word is, but it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. So people need to stop making all those comments where like, well, this guy needs to pay back everybody before he does this or blah 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 blah, because that guy technically doesn't owe anybody any money. He was operating under the business of Owned, but Owned is what all of the loans and all the payments and everything were made out of. Does that make sense? Dissolved was the word I was looking for. Owned as a company was dissolved. Okay. Got it?
Got it. That
Okay,
concludes
sorry.
Life Lessons by Destiny in business.
It's important to know that because that corporate shield, so to speak, is very, very, very important. If people want to talk about the validity of this guy being allowed to run, for me personally, I don't like the guy for obvious reasons. So should he be allowed to run another company? I mean, that's not for me to decide. Even on a legal basis, I can't decide that. But hopefully if I was somebody who was getting into relations with this company, I would be very fucking careful about it. I would make sure that it's specifically stated in my contract that like if payment is delayed or too late by a certain number of days, I could leave immediately with no negative repercussions to me and still being able to hold them accountable for the money owed to me. Because obviously that guy has shown in the past that he's got trouble dealing with that. But in regards to like legal ramifications, those don't exist, Okay.
How much would it take for you to switch to Hitbox?
That would violate my current contract with Twitch and pay me more than they do now.
Good
I would
answer.
do. So, I mean, like realistically, I don't know if they came at me with like another $15,000 or $20,000 cash offer, it would be hard to turn down. But it wouldn't be as hard to turn down knowing what the CEO is. So I don't know. It would depend. I actually saw their. Don't tell anybody this, okay? But I saw their.
Don't tell anybody, guys.
I saw their offer, what they were doing for streamers, and what I was actually really fucking tempted to do was just take a guy, like whether it's a streamer from my chat or somebody that I knew that isn't partnered with Twitch, and just have them go and stream on Hitbox and just funnel them viewers for me, so that they would win that 3,000 euros and we'd split it. But I have a feeling I would get in trouble for that. So,
Oh, come on.
you know what I mean? That would be funny
Yes,
as fuck.
I know what you mean. I don't think you're allowed to do that, man. Not a bad plan, though. Not a bad plan. Okay. Well, desRow, what do you think of Hitbox?
I mean, like at first I was like, yeah, nice competition. It might bring something, but then it was the own guy, so it's probably gonna fail and not do well. So I don't know. Small potatoes, man. We just need YouTube. We need YouTube to be I don't know, to have some passion,
To have some
do it.
passion.
Yeah, they need to be passionate about.
They're not
fucking
doing.
cat-
They're not doing enough over there or anything already.
No, but they need to be like, okay, fucking online streaming, video games, it's gonna be our thing. Instead, they're like, yeah, we'll stream a fucking guy jumping off a fucking, like the Red Bull thing, and then other stuff like that. They're like live concerts and shit. No, they need to do video games. They should look at the numbers of League of Legends and everything in Twitch and be like, Yeah, I want that market, but instead they're being lazy fucks. Okay, maybe not, but they should have better priorities.
I don't think they're being lazy. It's just a matter of I mean, there was an event. There was an event streamed on YouTube, right? Like a major event.
Yeah, no,
What was
the
it? Was it
LCS and Dota.
LCS, right? Oh my, what are you
Yeah.
talking about then?
Yeah, I know, but they should be like they should like bend their rules and try to get streamers and offer contracts and stuff.
Well, I think it's still more
Well-
in this kind of beta phase or something for all the individual channels. I think some people are doing it. It's just you're not one of them. I'm not one of them, or any.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, we don't have
okay, man.
access to that stuff, you know. So
Yeah, but no streamer in StarCraft or LoL is doing YouTube. Even some of the good YouTubers are on Twitch. So
well, yeah,
That's because all of the
Twitch is-
all of the big Twitch streams have contracts with Twitch that you don't want to give up.
yeah.
yeah, okay.
What? Which is
What-
true. What the fuck?
You have a contract with Twitch, dude. What the fuck?
I don't.
You don't have a contract with Twitch?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
I'm small
then go do
potatoes,
it. What the
man.
Yeah, go do it. Why don't you be our guinea pig? Go do it. Go do it. Tell us how it is, man.
Why would I get one? There's like nothing to gain from it.
Why aren't you on YouTube then streaming?
Because there's fucking my shit's not popular. I need like a website like you, and then I can maybe change in the future. But if you change and you don't have that big of a fan base, you're dead. You're like a fish out of the water.